Good morning. This is your 8:15 daily operations weather briefing, starting off much chillier and cloudy this morning with overcast conditions out there. We'll see chilly conditions continue through today as a disturbance makes its way into the area. It's going to bring rain through the region, likely starting as we get into the later evening this evening and continuing through the overnight time frame. But take a look at the current surface analysis. As you see, boundary well to the south, but that upper level disturbance is going to bring the active weather. It's actually tracking across from the west, and as this high pressure moves out of the area, it's going to allow that to build up a weak area of low pressure along the coast. It's going to help enhance some of the moisture flow and bring those rain chances into the area. Again, should stay dry through most, if not all, of the working hours today, with those rain chances really starting to increase as we get into the evening time frame and more so into the overnight. Looking at current conditions at this time, overcast 6,500 feet, winds out of the north at 5 knots, temperature 37 degrees, relative humidity is at 52%. Take a look at the current visible satellite. We can see really socked in those clouds with that overcast deck. That will continue through the day and into the evening time frame. We'll start to see those cloud bases lowering, particularly as we get into the evening and see those lower levels starting to moisten up a bit later on. We look at the high-res model here. We'll see how things are expected to play out. Again, expecting mostly dry conditions as we move through the working hours today. Can't rule out a very slight chance of maybe a light sprinkle, possibly maybe even some ice pellets briefly during the afternoon time frame and for the first part of the evening, but more so as we get later in the evening, mainly past the 20 local time frame. As you can see here, starting to see some additional moisture building up into the area as a weak area of low pressure develops off the Carolina coast and moves off to the northeast, helping to bring in that onshore flow and moisten up those lower levels. It's going to help bring those rain chances up. As we get past the midnight time frame, we'll see rain becoming likely and on and off or steady, moving through the early morning hours of Thursday. Most of all, we'll see mainly light rain, maybe a few pockets of some moderate rain, but should see mainly light rain and not expecting any frozen precip as we get into the evening time frame, as we'll gradually see temperatures warming up above freezing and not expecting any frozen precip with that. As we get into the day on Thursday, we'll see continuation of some rain shower activity through the area during the morning time frame. Very low end chance of seeing maybe even a thunderstorm with any more moderate to heavier rain shower that pushes through, but that looks to be fairly low, about a 15 to 20% chance. And as we get into the afternoon, we should see most of the rainfall coming to an end by mid-afternoon, or at the very least we'll see very widely scattered rain chances. As you can see, the model here indicating fairly dry conditions. Some other models indicate a few lingering rain showers possible as we continue through the afternoon and into the evening. Going through the evening, we'll once again see a chance for some low clouds around the area and even a chance of seeing maybe a few light rain showers pushing through the area. As you can see, this model here a bit bullish with those rain chances through the overnight and early morning time frame. Other models not as much indicating, or not indicating as much of a chance, but nonetheless that chance is there as we move through the overnight time frame. And then we should see things start to quiet up as we go into the day on Friday, with rain chances coming to an end, clouds breaking. We'll see some partly cloudy conditions through the day on Friday. We'll see some slightly breezy conditions through the day on Friday, but overall we'll see above average temperatures and a fairly decent day as we go into the end of the week. If we look at the 24-hour weather risk chart for today, as you can see, we have clouds through the area through our working hours today. We'll start to see those bases lowering a bit, expecting the ceiling to drop down to around 5,000 feet as we get into the afternoon, and a chance of a ceiling around 3,000 feet as we move through the afternoon of the working hours, and possibly down to 1,000 feet if we do happen to see that very slight chance of light rain or light sleet coming together. But again, it's just a very slight chance, as you can see here, staying with green conditions moving through our working hours today, with just that very slight chance of any light rain or light sleet during the afternoon. Not expecting much movement in the way of temperatures as we move through the morning. I do have a high expected around 40 degrees, and that may be a bit optimistic, but could see temperatures rise a degree or two as we move through the morning hours, and then we'll start to see those Temperatures fall briefly as we go into the later afternoon. We'll see winds out of the north continuing this morning, becoming more northeasterly to northeasterly as we get into the afternoon, right around 6 to 11 knots continuing. And then we'll see that brief drop in the temperatures, and then we'll see those temperatures gradually start to rise as we move into the evening time frame. So we pick up a yellow risk for precip past 1600 local with a slight chance of some light rain, maybe a very slight chance of maybe even some sleet mixing in early on with everything turning to rain going into the evening. And then we increase to an orange risk as we pass 20 local, and then red risk as we pass midnight, as rain will be likely on and off as we move into the early morning hours of Thursday. We'll see those winds picking up a bit out of the onshore direction, 8 to 13 knots. Could see some peak gust up around 18 knots for the early morning hours, and we'll see those winds coming down a bit as we get into the start of the day on Thursday, with still seeing that rain around the area. But we'll see some mild temperatures as we get into the start of the day on Thursday, with our temperatures right around our average high for the start of the day. Do have the yellow risk for ceilings and visibilities as we get later in the evening, increasing to an orange risk as we will see some low ceilings around the area as that rain activity pushes through. Tides are running normal, and Thursday we'll start off with those rain showers continuing. Again, a slight chance of a thunderstorm, about a 15 to 20% chance, enough to indicate that with a yellow risk here. Otherwise, red risk for that precip, again likely continuing through the morning hours. And then as we get into the afternoon, expecting that rain to become more widely scattered, possibly dropping south of the local area altogether. And that's going to allow some clouds to start to break. And behind that rain activity, we'll see some slightly breezy winds, enough to indicate a yellow risk for that wind advisory criteria here. And we will see some low ceilings around the area with that precip in the morning. So we do have the yellow risk for those lower ceilings as well. As we go into the afternoon, into the evening, we'll gradually continue to see those warming trend with the temperatures. Do expect a high around 54 degrees. So again, a fairly mild day for this time of year on Thursday. We'll see a fairly mild evening once again Thursday evening. Overall, mostly cloudy. We'll see slightly breezy conditions, particularly early on, and we'll also see a chance for some low clouds, maybe even a slight chance of some brief light rain early on as well. So we do have that yellow risk for precip and that yellow risk for some reduced ceilings. And as we get into the start of the day on Friday, we should see partly cloudy conditions with those clouds starting to break. But again, overall mild with a low around 44 degrees. We'll stay fairly mild for much of the day on Friday. Again, quieter day, partly cloudy, slightly breezy, high around 56 degrees. And then we'll see things cooling down as we go into the weekend. Overall green conditions for our weather risk on Friday. And we'll see a similar pattern as we go into our Saturday with another chance for some precipitation. That's going to wrap up the 8:15 Daily Operations Weather Briefing. We'll be back again at 10 a.m. to take a look at the extended forecast. Enjoy your morning.